Hello and welcome back to Tinker Talks Guns. This time we're here to discuss the CZ P07, a hammer-fired, double-action, single-action, polymer-framed descendant of the CZ-75. CZ was nationalized by the Czech government in 1948 and produced a variety of service handguns. The Czechs were not overly enamored of the Russian offerings, and so they came up with their own, and in the 70s, they decided that they'd had it with this 9x18 BS, and we're going with a full 9mm and created the CZ-75, which was widely acknowledged to be one of the best fighting handguns in the world. It had high capacity, double action, single action, modern operation, and was in fantastic ergonomics. It was just the bee's knees. Of course, we couldn't have it in America because it was produced behind the Iron Curtain. So eventually other firms, Sphinx in Switzerland, Tanfoglio and Tenarmi in Italy, began producing clones, which became pretty popular. And in the fullness of time, the walls fell, and now we have not just access to CZ handguns, we have CZ USA, who now owns Colt, which may be a good thing. We'll have to see. Anyway, the P07 weighs 27.7 ounces unloaded, comparable to a Glock 19. It's also comparable in size with a 3.75-inch barrel, and it operates like an old-school single double action, where the first trigger pull is double action and the slide cocks the hammer for all the subsequent shots. There's more to it than that, of course, because this is CZ, so nothing can be simple. And if you don't believe me, take apart one of their old guns. Anyway, let's go to the tabletop and have a look at this critter. The P07 comes in a nicely fitted case with 2 magazines, different back straps so you can change the feel of the grip to suit you. It also comes with short magazine pads in case you don't like the big long ones, which honestly I don't think they make that much difference, specifically not on someone my size. There is also another interesting feature. This is a manual safety that can be installed in place of the decocker. When I got this gun, the manual safety was installed, but I wanted to go double action, single action, so I installed the decocker. And it was doable, but a huge pain in the ass. I also fitted it with the back strap of my choice, the one that feels best in my hand. The magazines hold 15 rounds, plainly marked on the back. Good quality, nice solid steel magazines. And made by CZ. Let's unload and show clear. The magazine release is well located. And I don't really have to, I have big hands, but I don't really have to shift my grip to drop the magazine. And then, of course, check the chamber. And the hammer drop drops the gun to a safe position. Now, unlike the original CZ-75, this is fitted with what they call their Omega trigger, which is a user-serviceable trigger system. And many, many owners replace this with the Cajun Gunworks system, which the complete system costs about $231. I'm told it improves the trigger in both single and double action a great deal. I don't know because this one is completely stock. And it is an interesting gun. There's plenty of texture, which sort of a bar and dot stippling on the front and back strap, and then this regular stippling on the sides. For some reason, there's no stippling here where I'd actually kind of like there to be, because when firing one-handed, there's really no traction for your thumb. This comes with the standard 3-dot sights, which they're fine. I'm not a fan of 3-dot sights, but they're fine. And there were some changes to the gun made. It was introduced in 2009. There were some changes made in 2014 with the addition of the very useful front serrations and a few other small changes. The gun feels excellent in the hand, and if it doesn't, well, you can change the back strap and make it feel excellent. The sights are serviceable. Everything about this is very, very serviceable and feels very well screwed together. There's also strips of stippling here for your thumb in a thumb's forward grip. And that's actually very useful, and I like it quite a bit. And yes, my thumb is on the decocker, but there is zero chance I will accidentally activate the decocker. The double action pull, which should be measured from the hammer's safe notch position, is not overly long, not overly heavy, and not overly nice. It's serviceable. It's okay. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just okay. And it is pretty easy to use and keep the sights aligned while you're doing so. The single action trigger has a lot of take up and some creep. And then it breaks cleanly with a little bit of over travel. It is not a great single action trigger pull. Again, it's serviceable. It's okay. The reset is kind of long. And then after the reset, you have take up. Now, none of this really interferes with shooting the pistol rapidly and accurately, but it's not as good as I'd prefer. It is fine for a gun in this price point. The retail MSRP is $585. You can usually find them for $5 to $550 if you poke around. The serrations are nice and deep, both front and back. Very easy to get a good grip on. And it's a good, useful size. It's kind of a do-all gun because it's big enough to be carried as a duty weapon and small enough for concealed carry. It fills a very similar notch to the Glock 19, but to me, the ergonomics are much, much superior to the Glock 19, and I like the security of the double action first trigger pull. It's like, yes, you're not supposed to touch the trigger unless you're going to fire and all this, but if you do, you're probably less likely to have a negligent discharge with the double action trigger. So there is a rail under the front, which seems to be a standard Picatinny rail. I've mounted things on it before, and it works just fine. There are the large magazine shoes, base plates. They do not give you any extra capacity. And again, they're fine. I don't particularly like or dislike them, and I don't think shaving 3/8 of an inch off them is really going to make a difference in concealability for me, and it doesn't really even look like it would change the grip much. So, a modern gun with some old school features. Oh, and that's another thing, is that the decocker is ambidextrous and is easy to utilize with either hand. And again, you have the serrations there, the stippled serrations for your thumb in a thumb's forward grip. And all in all, I like this gun quite a lot. I'm considering getting the Cajun Gunworks trigger for it. We'll see. It's, $231 for the whole setup. But you can piecemeal it a little at a time, and I have a friend who's actually changed out the one on her PO1, and I'm told the process is identical since they both share the Omega trigger group. So we'll just have to see what happens there. But again, overall, I like this gun quite a lot, and I am not a huge fan of modern guns, but I might be able to become a huge fan of this gun. I think the CZ-P07 represents an excellent alternative to guns like the Glock 19 and 8,000 other similar guns. I like the double action, single action, as stated. The ergonomics are really the best I've felt on a gun in this class. And CZ's kind of famous for that, so you'd kind of expect it. It's just a really great concealed carry and service style mid-size gun. And really quite like it. It has been extraordinarily reliable. I've fed all kinds of ammunition for it, factory loads, hand loads, 35-year-old specialized defense ammo from South Africa. It just eats everything up and spits it out. And it's really a nice gun to shoot. The bore axis is not the lowest in the world, but in a lot of ways, the light reciprocating mass of the slide makes up for that. It's a very pleasant gun to shoot, even with hot 9mm or plus P loads. And very easy to shoot accurately. And there's not a lot not to like here. So, CZP-07, give it a look. I hope this finds you well. Stay safe, take care, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And if you want to support me in this endeavor, consider clicking the link below to my Patreon account and kick $1 a month my way. It's not much, but it adds up and it really does help. So again, stay safe, take care, and we will talk to you again real soon.